Hello everyone, welcome to this video. I've been meaning to do this video for quite a while now, but I finally had the time and here it is. I did my A-levels a few years ago now, and the purpose of this video is to discuss the grades I got, the subjects I took, and my general opinions of how I think nearly anyone can get the same grades that I got. Now before I continue, I'd like to thank Figtree Learning for making this video possible. Figtree Learning is a wonderful tutoring agency in London, but also have a really good group of educational consultants. Figtree Learning is a fantastic company. I personally have been a tutor for them, but also have been involved in the great charity work that they do across London. So make sure to click on the link down in the description below and go and check out the website. So let's get to it. I did my A-levels a few years ago now, and when I did them, I took biology, chemistry, physics and maths. Now, some would consider that these subjects are quite boring, just taking all the sciences, but I personally found each and every one of them really interesting, and that's why I took them. But I'll discuss choosing subjects in another video. At the end of year 13, I got 4 A stars. Now, getting A stars in each and every one of those subjects was a hard enough challenge, let alone getting A stars in all of them. But yes, through a dedicated approach, and through motivation and through perseverance, I managed to do it. And there's no reason for why you too can't achieve such grades. So regarding predictions, my school were quite harsh when it came to predicting A stars at A-level, because they said you had to get at least a minimum score of 90% UMS in your AS examinations. Now I know the system has changed for you guys, you're doing linear courses, and so your end of year exams at the end of year 12 are so important. Doing really well in these will allow your tutors to predict your A stars for A2. So because I got over 90% in all of my AS levels, that's in maths, biology, chemistry and physics, my school predicted me 4 A stars for the end of year 13. Now when I got predicted these grades, I thought, wow, they predicted me these grades, I was confused as to whether I could actually achieve these grades or not. People at my school in the years above and even in my year, we were talking about how hard it is to get just even 1 A star at A level. So when I got predicted these 4 A stars, I was thinking, wait, they've predicted me these grades, but can I actually achieve it? And it's this question that I asked myself, and it's the answer that I thought of for this question that allowed me to actually get the grades at the end. The most important question that you can ask yourself is, how can you go about getting those 4 A stars? How can you get about performing as well as you can in each individual subject? And if you go about revising for each subject in an individualized manner, getting an A star on each one of them is straightforward. So that's the mindset you should have. Of course you do need to put in many hours of work, but it's definitely worth it. So I'll make another video on advice and tips, which I'll be releasing later. Let's talk about the subjects that I took. So at the beginning of year 12, I'd chosen to take maths, further maths, biology, chemistry and physics. My subject choice was influenced by the university course I was ultimately looking to apply for, medicine, but also my personal preference. But do take this into account, you don't need to take those subjects for the course I'm studying now, medicine. So I began with these 5 subjects in year 12, and then throughout year 12, after finishing a few of the further maths modules, I realised that I wasn't spending enough time on my other sciencey subjects. My school had a funny policy where if I didn't do further maths, I couldn't do 4 subjects in my second year at A-level. But I really wanted to do 4 subjects because I thought that doing 4 subjects will always keep me on the ball. Of course doing 3 is hard enough, but I realised that I wanted a challenge and I wanted to really push myself and see how well I could do. So even though I knew this, I dropped further maths and I continued with maths, biology, chemistry and physics. I then took the AS examinations at the end of year 12, got my grades. Now at this point in time, after year 12, most of you will be dropping 1 subject. You'll be taking on 3 subjects to A2. Now some schools do offer the facility for students to take all 4 subjects onto A level, or A2 level as people call it. But somehow I managed to convince my school to let me take maths, biology, chemistry and physics all up to second year, all up to the end of year 13, all up to A2 level. I was warned by my school that taking 4 subjects might end up in me having too little time to focus on all subjects, but I was motivated. And it's this motivation that you too should develop if you want to achieve all A stars at A level. In maths, I only had C3 and C4 to finish off, because I'd taken S1 and M1 the year before, along with C1, C2. So that kind of reduced the workload a tiny bit. At the beginning of year 13, I'd say for the first term, for the winter term, there was very little time to actually focus on work because I had the UK CAT, I had the BMAT, I had to write my personal statement, I had interviews coming up, and a lot of you will be in the same situation. So I realised that I'd have even more work to catch up with in the winter holidays. I actually spent most of my winter holidays studying quite hard. I was trying to finish all of maths and focusing on finishing the first units of all the sciences. The workload got so much that I even had to drop out of rowing in year 13 because I simply thought that if I stopped rowing, I'd get more time to focus on my work. Because whilst rowing, I'd be giving up lunch times to row, I'd be going off to school for a few hours to row, and then after that I'd be tired. And when I was tired, I couldn't work. I'd have to go to sleep, take a rest, and then I'd lose 3 hours straight away. So the afternoon is spent rowing, and then I spend 3 hours at home sleeping, and then by the time I wake up, it's 8, 9 o'clock. So the amount of time I had to work was greatly reduced. So I had to make a few sacrifices, but at the end of the day, in my opinion, they were worth it. Now, all my science exams were marked by AQA, and my maths exams were marked by Edexcel. So in terms of marks, I'm pretty sure I got over 95%. This is in the whole A-levels, in biology, in chemistry, and in maths. Now, I found physics quite hard, particularly A2 level, mainly because there was just so much information. Of course, looking back, the amount of content in A-level physics was hardly comparable to how much work I get through in one term here at Cambridge, but still back in the time it was a lot of work. And I think in physics I just about got an A star with a few UMS points to spare. So over 95% for 3 subjects and just over the A star boundary for physics. Now when I got the grades, I didn't really care about the marks. The fact that I'd got 4 A stars was just, I was completely mind blown. I didn't actually realise it was possible to get 4 A stars. You'd hear about these people who, who'd be working 24 hours a day, not sleeping, etc., etc., and those are the people who get 4 A stars, and that's what I thought. But I never realised that someone like me could end up getting 4 A stars. And the night before the results came out, I wasn't even sure whether I'd achieved 1 A star, let alone 2, let alone 4. And so what I really want to emphasise is that when you're working, never expect to get the top grades. Always work towards 100%. Always work towards the top grades. And so, as opposed to expecting those grades will be given to you if you do put in the work, if that makes sense. You can never simply say that, let's say you're naturally clever, let's say you're always top of the class. That doesn't mean the exam boards will give you an A star, on a golden plate. You have to really work for it. And even though I had this mini mental breakdown before results came out, I always kept telling myself, I put in the work, I put in the hours, and hopefully my hard work would be recognised by the examiners and the exam boards. So the point of this video was just to be an introductory insight into my grades and into my A-level experience. Now I really want to share all my tips and advice that I have from my experience of taking A-levels with you guys. So definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and if you did find this video useful, do give it a like. Definitely watch out for more videos because I'll be going through the individual subjects that I took, maths, biology, chemistry and physics, and telling you my top tips, for how you too can get an A star in those individual subjects. Now of course these experiences, these tips, these opinions are all mine, and you guys might have different opinions. Other students who've also achieved the same grades might have different opinions. Other people who got 4 A stars might have different opinions. Other people who've got more A stars than I have at A level, 5 or 6. I've got friends here at Cambridge who've got more than I have. And all of those people might have different opinions. So do remember that the advice I'm giving you is from my perspective, and it may not work for everybody. So I really hope that you guys found this video useful, and I'm really looking forward to releasing the consequent videos in this series. So thank you once again to Victory Learning for making this video possible, and I hope to see you soon in the next video of this A-Level series. So take care and see you later.